This is episode 27. I am Jessica Delmar, and I assist in strengthening your knowledge of who you truly are as a powerful creator being during these powerfully shifting times. And in this episode, we are going to be talking more about the sun. In the last episode, we spoke about this powerful new moon energy of August, which really opened the floodgates for transformation, new shifts, new powerful shifts to take place, and powerful change to start happening and integrating and folding into your experience to push you further along into this new phase of your ascension journey. And so the best possible thing that you can be doing right now is staying open, staying flexible, being adaptable to any sort of energy that comes into your experience or is folded into your experience. You have to have faith in this greater picture of unfolding energy that you can't necessarily see in your now moment where you are, but it's all part of a greater picture. And part of flowing is about flowing downstream in ease rather than trying to resist all of the change happening. As you resist all the change happening, it's just going to manifest as more and more resistance in your experience. So you just have to ease your energy up a little bit, soften your energy, soften into ease, soften into flow, allow for the current to take you downstream. Change, transformation, transmutation, the opening into this new phase that you're in is going to show up in many different ways. The energy of change, the energy of powerful shifts happen in many different forms. And so that's also why it's really important at this time to step out, step away from that duality scale, step away from what you would perceive as good versus bad. Duality is playing out powerfully in the collective consciousness. That contrast is even more polarizing, and it's going to get even more polarizing. So it's so important to stay in your inner balance, stay centered, be that buoy floating on the turbulent waters, be flexible and adaptable. Practice non-attachment to things, because what someone may perceive as bad, that person may form attachments to that energy which they perceive as bad, so they're going to tumble along with that washing machine energy. Versus if you allow for what you would think or perceive as bad versus good to just play out as creative and destructive energies, simply playing out on a grander scheme, a grander scale, grander perspective of pure source energy working within Gaia, working within the body of Gaia to do its thing in order to get Gaia to where she needs to go into 5D, then you open up this powerful space for yourself to flow more easily through these changes. We've been talking a lot about these physical changes going on in the planet connected to this open and transmuting and transforming and shifting gut energy in our physical human bodies. As within, so without. As above, so below. Micro, macro, everything is connected. And right now, we're just experiencing a powerful shift in our physical realities, because a lot of light workers, at least with the information that I'm putting out there, who it's resonating with, a lot of the light workers, a lot of you guys have already done a lot of the non-physical, spiritual, emotional work. So now we're moving into the physical. How do we actually manifest 5D New Earth? How do we put all of these energetic shifts, vibrational shifts that we've gone through, all the shadow work, all of that non-physical stuff that we've been working with, and pull it into the physical? How do we actually begin manifesting New Earth 5D? And right now we're seeing the physical changes that's going to open up a doorway for those of you who have been working in the energetic realms, vibrationally creating New Earth 5D. The gates will open soon to begin physically manifesting New Earth 5D, not only for yourself, but for the entire collective. But for right now, we're in this transitionary space. And so right now, it's all about how do we understand what's going on in order to more easily just flow and adapt and be flexible and be that buoy on the water. We have to really soothe ourselves into a place of trust and having faith in the bigger picture, even if what may be physically manifesting in our experience may not necessarily look like it's 5D, but we have to have faith in the transitionary process, in the shifting process, in the process of that phoenix rising from the ashes. And even though things may seem like it's very much ashes right now, we have to have faith and trust that the phoenix is rising. The energy of the phoenix rising has occurred. Now it's just about physically the phoenix rising. So in this episode, we're going to talk about climate change. We're going to talk a little bit more about the sun. In a couple episodes back, we spoke a little bit about this barrier that was created around the planet, put in place by the reptilian lower vibrational energy beings in order to trap souls, in order to trap lower vibrational energy, to continue harnessing that lower vibrational energy, which is essentially what lower vibrational beings feed on in order to continue to exist. So that's sort of the space that we were in 3D, kind of stuck in that 3D layer. And so I'm going to read what came through. There is a barrier around your planet and other planets in your solar system that has been created for the benefit of the reptilian agenda of enslaving souls within your lower vibrational and lower dimensional planets. So the thinning barrier around the planet opens a gateway for more information from the sun to enter into the Earth's atmosphere and integrate into the planetary body and collective consciousness. So as that barrier thins more, we're going to receive more of the information and knowledge and life force giving energy from the sun. This barrier around your planet is what you may know of as your ozone layer. Now, I want to take a quick moment to sidebar here because I quickly mentioned that the Earth's ozone layer came into my awareness in a couple episodes back about this barrier. In the comments of that video, I know a few of you have also been receiving information about the ozone layer or connecting to the ozone layer in the same way. So it adds a little bit more confirmation that it is the ozone layer, and also because we're going to talk a little bit more about this, that it keeps coming into my awareness more strongly. The ozone layer has a big part to play in all of this, and how, we've been taught that we need to protect the ozone layer, and that when there's holes in the ozone layer, it's bad for the environment. It's bringing in too much heat from the sun, all of those UV rays. So we're taught that these things are bad. We're taught that we as humans create these holes in the ozone layer, and so we need to do everything we can to protect the ozone layer. But what's going to come through as I continue reading is, sort of that shifting of the mindset, the deprogramming of what we've been taught as humans. As we shift from 3D into 5D, a lot of the things that we thought may have been right or correct or leading us down a certain path in 3D, it's a lot of the flipping of the coins. We've spoken about Alice in Wonderland, how everything is so topsy-turvy. Everything does not make sense really anymore in the world that we're living in. Up is down, down is up, left is right, right is left. It's like our entire minds are sort of being shaken to get us to wake up into this whole new reality space that leaves a lot of people very, very, very confused. But in that confusion, then they're starting to seek answers. They're starting to wake up and say, something's not right here. Something doesn't make sense. Something that I've thought my entire life no longer makes sense. So that's a big part of the awakening and the shaking up of our minds going on right now. And vibrationally, as that's happening within our mind space, it's actually physically manifesting as the shakeup in our collective reality, in our weather patterns, in the world space, the world stage. Another thing that was brought to my attention was the heliosphere, and I wasn't actually very familiar with the heliosphere, so I went to look it up. And this is what came up over on, I just went to the nasa.gov website. The sun sends out a constant flow of solar material called the solar wind, which creates a bubble around the planets called the heliosphere. The heliosphere acts as a shield that protects the planets from interstellar radiation. So basically, the sun creates this heliosphere, and what came through as I was sort of asking the guides, so is this barrier that was created around the planet to create or to keep the lower vibrational energy within the Earth plane, is it the heliosphere? And what came through is, the heliosphere is created by the sun. So the sun actually creates this bubble around its solar system to keep it safe from interstellar radiation coming in from the greater universe. So the sun itself is protecting its own solar system, our solar system. So this is part of the trusting, part of the trusting in the divine makeup, the divine greater creation that we're part of, and how everything is perfect. Everything is unfolding perfectly. Everything, it's kind of like how your heart just beats. You don't have to tell your heart to beat. It's beating in order to keep your body alive. And so it's not about you trying to tell your heart, beat, 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 keep me alive, keep me alive, keep me alive. No, you have to trust in in your greater form to keep you alive, to have this experience. And so on a grander scale, the sun is not a harmful thing. It is keeping its body alive. It is the heart of our greater solar system. It is protecting us from the greater radiation from the universe. And of course, on a smaller scale, this planet, Gaia, the Earth, has created her own sort of shield, if you will, that's a little bit separate from the ozone layer. I don't really know what it is, but it's just showing me that there is, she's doing her own thing to keep her body safe, just like our bodies have a skin, for example, and an energy field. Oh, okay, so that's what it is. It's an energy field. So in our energy field, we have the ability to protect our energy through our energy field. Some of us have energetic barriers that are more weakened. There's holes in the energy barrier, but others have stronger aura fields, energy fields that they've consciously created to strengthen their energy and protect their energy. And so Gaia does the same thing. The ozone layer is separate from Gaia's energy field. So the ozone layer connects more to that sort of created field in order to keep lower vibrational energy held within the earth plane. But with the depletion of the ozone layer, if you will, if that starts happening, we have to, again, it's about shifting the mindset. The planet is still protected through Gaia's energy field. She knows how to protect her body. And so we as human beings can't necessarily say, hey, greater body of Gaia, we know how to protect you. It's kind of like the cells of our body, our human bodies, telling us how to protect our body. No, we just know how to protect our body, and it's part of the greater flow of our entire body working together. And so our energy field is just there. It's working for us, right? It's working with us and our conscious mind, our vibration, and the same thing's happening with Gaia. So, we can protect our own physical forms. Gaia is able to protect her physical form, and the greater solar system is a greater body that's being protected in its own greater physical form as well. So we just have to trust in the greater process, the greater unfolding, the greater knowing that all is truly well and all really is taken care of. In addition, we spoke about in the August new moon episode about how the Earth's grid, if you will, the Earth's energetic field is shifting into a 5D electromagnetic field, so that the entire energy body of Gaia is shifting. This also aligns with, micro, macro as within. So without our energy fields are shifting as human beings in order to vibrationally align with Gaia, the Earth's changing electromagnetic field into 5D. And in addition, that greater heliosphere energy body created by the sun to keep the solar system body safe is also shifting. So and then on a greater scale, universally the energy body is shifting. So everything is shifting, and which is why it always brings you back to center. Look at the shifts going on within your own physical form. And if you can understand your own physical form, your own energy, your own vibration, the way that you create your reality, the shifts that you're seeing in the way that you can powerfully create your reality, the shifts that you are making to create a 5D reality, all these things that you can apply to your own life, you can then therefore see how it is affecting that greater macro planetary body, the collective body, the solar system body, the universal body, and then everything micro within you as well. Everything is connected. So again, this barrier that we've been talking about, which has been keeping the veil over the eyes of the collective, essentially, is what we may know of as the Earth's ozone layer. You as humans have been taught that the ozone layer is what protects your planet from the sun's damaging ultraviolet rays. But what you as humanity have been taught about the sun is the very thing that has created fear of the sun. It has created global warming. It has created famine. It has created drought, skin cancer. All of these things revolve around the programming fear of the sun. Manifestation is powerful, and your beliefs and your thoughts and your programs, especially the repeated ones, and the ones that your society, that civilization deems as facts, create your reality. It further creates your reality. And so that's why there's a lot of breakdown happening in terms of beliefs and programs that are going on, that things such as this, the belief that humanity has had about the sun being a damaging aspect to the earth, we're seeing may not be true. And that's going to create such a massive shift in consciousness. So we spoke about herd mentality in one of our previous episodes, and how the collective is very much, it runs on herd mentality. So something that you're taught in school, or you hear on the news, or what the government says, or this and this and this, is kind of programmed within you as a belief system. And so then therefore all of people believing that same thing, it creates this sort of herd mentality. But what's going on right now is that the herd mentality in the collective is one that resists the sun and climate change, especially. It's seeing it as a bad thing. And all of the resistance to the sun and climate change is just creating more resistance in the body of Gaia. Many of you who have dealt with any sort of skin issues like eczema or inflammation, and I know this very well, this is why it came up for me in terms of trying to help me to understand what's going on. Maybe in your own sense, it'll bring forward something for you through personal experience in order for you to understand. But for example, if you've dealt with something like eczema or skin issues, you may have been prescribed a topical steroid ointment or cream to help treat the condition. However, what that topical steroid cream actually does is simply suppress the immune system from giving off the inflammatory response. Meaning, when you stop using it, the immune system goes into overdrive, and all of that inflammatory response that was suppressed is now again just running rampant and released throughout the entire body. It's like your immune system is just completely imbalanced, essentially. And so, even through my personal journey of physically healing, it has been a return back to how do you balance the body using natural things of the earth. So it's kind of saying that that's sort of the same thing that has been happening upon the planet, something being suppressed for so very long, which is the truth of who we truly are, that source and that life force energy from source itself. But now that it's kind of opening up more on the planet, within individuals, within the collective, it's going to start, that transformation in and of itself is going to be a very powerful shift, and it's not going to be an easy one for some people if they haven't been able to ease into the shift like many light workers have had over the past few years. So essentially with the topical steroid use, if you've been using it for years and years and you stop using it, again, your body, the immune system goes through a type of steroid withdrawal. I mean, the same thing can happen with people on any type of drug or alcohol. When you stop using it, your body just goes into this overdrive space where your body just, it wreaks havoc on your body until your body can find its way back to balance. And so again, that's what's happening and going to be happening upon the planet. For millennia, your planet has been going through an energetic suppression of sorts, which is the barrier that we've been talking about that was created around your Earth in order to keep the entrapment and enslavement of souls and to prevent the integration of the high vibrational knowledge and life force giving energy of the sun. The sun, essentially, since the Reptilian takeover many years ago, has been banished from Earth, or vice versa, with the Reptilians banishing the Earth from the sun, however you want to look at it, which is what suppressed Earth's immune system in many ways. Because this barrier created by the Reptilians has been thinning and losing steam recently, again, it's over 50% thin, more energy and knowledge from the sun is able to integrate within the Earth's body, as well as individuals and the collective. What this does is it opens the Earth's immune system once again. It fully reactivates the Earth's suppressed immune system and activates alignment to the greater body of the sun, or the greater body of the solar system. However, like we said, this transformation is powerful. A suppressed immune system that opens and activates again means that everything that was suppressed also opens and activates like wildfire. Your collective mind blames the ecosystem changes and weather changes to climate change or global warming due to humans, but your weather changes and ecosystem shifts are due to the immune system of the Earth activating once again, releasing all of its suppressed energy. There will be a period of time when Earth's body must release the suppressed energy to then adjust to equilibrium, again, such as the person who is withdrawing from drugs or alcohol or whatever. You go through this very intense period of change where your body has to then adjust back into its natural form. And that's what's going to be happening with the Earth, is what came through. The Earth's body, just as your physical forms, have to adjust back to equilibrium. But if you hold on tight, the withdrawal phase will begin to calm, and equilibrium will be restored to the body. The withdrawal transformation back to equilibrium following suppression is not easy, but it is necessary for your collective, planetary, and solar system evolution. Climate change will happen more strongly over the coming years because the barrier that enslaved your collective of souls is lifting. But do not fear, climate change is not stronger than your mind. You must strengthen your mind, knowing in truth that all is truly well. Climate change does not mean that it will affect everyone the same way. There are many things playing out in your collective Earth experience, and although you may be aware of it, are you personally affected by poverty, starvation, drugs, diseases, etc., etc.? Some of you may be personally affected, others may not. You create your reality, and this is a powerful time to bring that back into play in a very powerful way, that you are a powerful source creator creating your reality. And your ability to create your reality in divine abundance will be ever more important during these powerfully shifting times. Meaning, find your center balance, your connection to the inner being, your connection to the I, the center of the storm. Despite all of the storm going on around you, we speak extensively and all about this in our Inner Being Awareness Retreat. We had a live 21-day Inner Being Awareness Retreat before the summer solstice or before the June solstice. But because it's been coming up so much with all of this recent information, I have made it available on my website for you to do on your own time if you want to connect to the inner being awareness information on your own and do that as a sort of a home study course, if you will. I'll put the link to that below if you're interested. So find your inner balance, center balance, frequency of balance, divine inner being connection, and you will manifest a reality in alignment to that vibration, which means that everything is always working out for you and unfolding perfectly in perfect timing, and you are always exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to be doing. And that is the powerful information that came through for this episode. A lot of the shifts and changes going on in our programs and beliefs that we may have already worked through as light workers, but now we're going to see evidence and manifestation of it in our physical reality, which is part of that sifting and sorting process of truth versus illusion in our reality, and putting it to work, putting it into play in terms of all the things that we've worked with on an energetic vibrational level, in the shadow work we may have done with our thoughts, beliefs, and programs, but now it's really about applying it to our physical reality. And then just in terms of the sun, it's really about embracing the truth of the sun. So what is truth to you when it comes to the sun? Is it something harmful to you? Or is that thought of it being harmful is just something that you've been taught? Or are you going to embrace the energy of the sun in a whole new way in terms of it being life force giving, source energy giving? It is nourishing. It is offering powerful divine knowledge, and actually is aiding in your alignment. Because in 3D we are very imbalanced, and so that shift from imbalance back to balance is going to be a powerful shift, and the sun is going to be and is powerfully assisting in that journey. And in the next couple of episodes, I want to say we're going to talk more about the sun, the solar flash, 7-year cycle. There's so much more information that's coming through regarding all of these changes that's happening on a physical level. So I'm excited to get into that. Thank you so much for being here, for listening in, and for all of your support. Everyone who has donated, your store purchases, the clients that I've been working with, it all goes towards me continuing to work to bring through this information for you guys. And so thank you for all of your support, and I have so much love for you. This podcast can now be found on all podcast platforms. Listen and subscribe on Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and as always, it's available on YouTube as well. Thank you again for being here. I'll see you in the next episode, and remember that all is truly, truly well. Oneness, love, and peace be with you.